You're listening to the Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast with holistic entrepreneurs Mandy Rose and Kathleen Hupp. Tune in each Wednesday to discuss holistic approaches to a happier, more fulfilling life and glittery distractions from the mundane. Nothing is off limits in this series, so grab your glass of champagne or your shot of wheatgrass and prepare for complete and fabulous chaos.
Welcome back, everyone. This week's episode of Wheatgrass and Champagne is a really, really good one. We are doubling up. We're having champagne right now. But we did have our wheatgrass shot before we started because wheatgrass is absolutely amazing for our skin health. And today we are learning all about beauty, organic, and healthy lifestyle and balance. So I'm excited.
Oh my gosh. The perfect Wellness Wednesday guest. We have Lisa, this organic girl.
Yes.
So excited.
Anyone that can help me make my skin look beautiful is a friend in my head.
Oh, exactly. Okay, but before we get to her interview,
okay, what's up?
I want to hear about Andrew's store opening.
It was amazing. It was this past Saturday. He invited, it was just like a soft opening. So friends, family, some of his clients, and he was just all in his glory, all this hard work. Opening a brick and mortar takes so much effort. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
And it's been 6 months in the making. So to kind of see it all come to fruition. And, I see it in a very different way because we have aquariums in our home. And so I'm just like almost like jaded by them. I'm like, oh yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
Look at the fish.
I know.
So peaceful.
It's like the normal person's like mirror on the wall. You guys have aquariums everywhere.
Exactly. So I think for me, kind of supporting him makes him happy, but then to sit there and see all these people coming into the store and seeing their awes and like their faces light up, I'm like, oh, it is pretty cool.
I know. You probably get so used to it, just seeing it every day and seeing like the ugly side of it where he has to go like filter the water and
do all the labor, and it can be stressful.
Yeah.
I mean, like when some of his clients pay hundreds of dollars for a fish and then something's wrong with their tank and they're like in this emotional state that it is their pet, right? Like people think aquarium, they just think it's like a luxury or just like an art deco picture on the wall or something, but like it becomes your pets
for sure.
And then investing all that money. So I see him, rushing out of the house to do a fish emergency call. And
I know, I feel like he is a doctor with a pager on his hip and he's like, oh honey, it's an emergency. I have to go.
Yeah, we always joke. We're like, fish emergency. And he runs out the door. So it was really cool to kind of see that. And it was an all day adventure. So hanging out with friends and family and people that stopped by was so much fun. And then of course we went out and celebrated.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You guys are like the ultimate beach or like Florida couple. Like we're on the beach and you're doing fish aquariums that are beautiful and so glamorous. And
if you guys want to follow his page, it's Aquatic Reef Design. They're just getting started, but it's so exciting. And like I said, just kind of seeing everyone's face light up is really cool. So
yeah,
I love
really
that.
instills that pride.
So what's new with you, girl?
Yay. Oh gosh, not much. Oh my goodness. But we got the photos back from our photo shoot with John.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember our like crazy tutu dresses with like the avant-garde makeup?
Yeah, I think we scared everyone on Instagram. Luckily, this photo shoot happened around Halloween. So we're like in full avant-garde, crazy mask makeup that we did and tutus and driving around town in these crazy outfits. Luckily, it was Halloween, but it had nothing to do with Halloween. So yes, I want to see these photos. I've been dying to see them.
It's been a couple weeks, but it was so worth it. So, okay, here is a close-up of your makeup, which was killer with those bottom lashes.
Oh my gosh, those were insane. If anyone has ever worn bottom lashes, shout out to you. It was my first time, and I've worn like falsies forever, over 12 years, but bottom ones, never, and they were so intense.
Yes, it was amazing. We kept calling her David Bowie all night because I swear, spitting image.
Which is kind of creepy.
I know. She was like, wait, who? What? Why?
No, I want to look like a diva.
But it was totally Diva Bowie.
And then our photographer busted out this little mini Barbie Jeep that was one of his daughters. And I'm like, please, can I ride in that? Like, I will do whatever you need me to pose as if I get to ride in this Barbie Jeep right now.
Okay, we have to post these on Instagram immediately.
Yes.
But they turned out so cute.
Stop,
like, can this be the headline of our website?
Oh my God, it's so perfect.
We're like looking all serious and glamorous in this blue and pink little Barbie Jeep that is meant to be driven by a 4-year-old.
Yeah, I think my life is complete now that I'm
It is
32
the
years
best.
old and got to pose in a Barbie Jeep.
And he somehow made it look so glamorous. Like we're surrounded by palm trees and the lighting was just
we're
on
so
point.
posting it. That was a fun photo shoot.
Yeah. So fun. So that was the highlight of my week.
That's awesome.
So you have family coming in town in a couple days, right?
I do. I've been rushing around like a crazy person. Always during the holidays, I feel like I'm one of those memes where it's like the girl's hair is on fire and she's like running in circles. That is like literally my life right now, between business and, preparing my house for the holidays, getting ready for visitors, trying self-care, going to the gym. I'm just like running around like a mad woman. So I've really been trying to practice like self-care, and my family's coming for 2 whole weeks. They stay with me.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, I
That's a
love them
commitment.
dearly, but kind of have to like mentally prepare. And I think especially during the holidays, right? We're all surrounded by family and all these holiday events that we're kind of feel obligated to go to, right? It's like a Christmas party here, your kids, Christmas event at school, and this and that and all these things. So trying to remind myself, to take time out, self-care, and you have 3 other people in your home. It's hard to just like hide in the bathroom. So
Curl up in a ball and cry.
sometimes like I love you guys if you're listening, but sometimes what I do is I say I'm going to go take a nap. And then I just go in my room and shut the door and Instagram or like read a book or like do nothing for an hour, because you just have to like decompress, So protecting your energy.
I feel like that would be good as like for hosts and guests, because I feel like guests feel the same. Like they don't have their normal bedroom to retreat to. They don't have their normal space. And they're like, wow, I'm completely displaced. I'm living out of a suitcase and I'm like, trying to be very courteous of my host and all of this. So I feel like if everyone for every trip would just book like 1 hour of alone time and everyone goes into their own space.
No, I love it.
I feel like it'd be so good for everyone.
I love it. And then how about for the holidays? Are you getting in the holiday spirit?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I try to hide under a rock, honestly, at this time of year. Like I love the holidays so much, but I also get really stressed out in public because there are so many more cars on the road, and in every store, like grocery store or shopping store, like whatever, like there are just so many more people out of their house.
Yeah.
And
I
so,
agree.
I try to plan in advance and like get all of my holiday shopping over with before December hits. But like we have a couple of family trips coming up I'm really looking forward to. But same with you. I'm going to have to find a corner and go hibernate for a little minute, like rejuvenate.
Yes.
And then come back and regroup.
The one thing I love about the holidays, and I, always try to find the positive in like life's crazy moments and stressful. So every single year during the holidays, even though I eat really clean and eat really organic and, watch what I eat, I feel like with the holidays, it can be really difficult. So I kind of give myself some grace and patience and say, you know what, it's okay if you eat some gluten-free Oreos. It's okay if you have the things that you normally wouldn't. But my tip and trick as a personal trainer for everyone that's listening, during the holidays, when you're eating more calories than you're normally used to, it's not the worst thing in the world. We all tend to show up in January like 5 pounds, maybe 15 pounds, hopefully not, but with a few extra pounds. So what I tell people is instead of stressing about it and losing that quality of life and, not enjoying those little things, instead go to the gym. So instead of worrying about the food and the calories, just do a workout on a consistent basis through the month of December. And what that's going to do is help you gain a lot of muscle mass. Because the more calories you eat, the better you have a chance of increasing your muscle mass. And then showing up in January with a higher muscle volume means you're able to burn fat more efficiently.
Yeah.
So the more muscle we have, the more fat we can burn. So let's not freak out. But if you're one who really doesn't go to the gym, or, it's just really not like in your schedule, like do some at-home workouts or whatever. But the only way that we can really build muscle is by being in a caloric excess. And so if your goal is to come January and building a booty or building some arm muscles or building a back, with like really chiseled shoulder muscles and back muscles. You can only do that when you're eating in excess.
Yeah.
So we're already doing that. So just get ahead of the curve, and then come February, March, then we can shred for the summer. So that's my trick, and that's what I do every year because I don't like to stress about it.
No, and I'm the same. Only I need to incorporate more of your mentality where I hit the gym more often,
right,
in the holidays, because I do have that mentality of it's the holidays, like don't worry about it too much. Like if you're gonna have some cookies, you're gonna have some other things that you normally wouldn't
give
allow.
Your body grace.
So I focus more on like the vitamin intake, and I increase my green juice intake and my wheatgrass and everything. Like I just like do that way more than I normally would, just so that I can feel better about the splurges I do.
Yeah.
But
that's the key, is adding in a few workouts a week. You will build a lot of muscle really quickly. So
it's a no-brainer. And it's going to, reduce the stress that you get from your family and like all the crazy schedules that you have. Like,
and it's a really good excuse to get away for an hour. Like I was saying before, I'm like, sometimes I retreat to my room, and sometimes I say I'm going to the gym.
Yeah. It's win-win-win.
And no one can get mad at you if you say you're going to the gym. If your family gets mad at you, well, too bad.
Yay. Okay, so without further ado, should we bring in our interview?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's learn some things.
So our guest today is Lisa from This Organic Girl. I don't know if any of you are familiar yet, but if you're not, you're missing out. So you have to follow her immediately. And so Lisa, you educate your followers on organic and clean makeup and skincare.
I do. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Yeah, we're so excited.
Happy.
Thank you. And she flew all the way down from Atlanta. She's in town for Thanksgiving, but she dedicated a little bit of her time to spend with us and to educate all of our followers. So we're really excited. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and then I can expense my flight, so it worked out.
Exactly.
Entrepreneur
Win-win.
life, right?
Wheatgrass, champagne, and tax cut.
It's perfect.
I love it. So what got you started on this mission? What drives you?
So for me, it was my second baby. He was born with a mild case of eczema. And at 4 weeks, his skin was really flaring. It was red and pimply. And as a mother, I just wanted to do everything to take him out of his discomfort. And so I took him to the dermatologist, and they prescribed a steroid cream. I started using that, and it started turning his skin white. And it didn't sit well with me. I didn't want his skin started looking patchy, and I'm like, there's got to be a better way. So I start jumping on Google and researching and asking my friends, does your son have eczema? What did you do? And one of my friends had told me, try and make tallow balm. And so I was like, okay, as a mom, you do anything. So here I am buying a jar of tallow and olive oil and melting it down and slathering it on his skin. And it was okay. But come to find out, it was a dairy intolerance. So, which we found out probably maybe a year and a half later, because I was breastfeeding him for a while. So I didn't realize that connection. Mm-hmm. I wasn't really green at the time. I think that was probably my starting point of me just looking into ingredients. And then once I realized that I could make my own lotion, I started looking at what was in my lotion, and then I started seeing things that shouldn't be there. So I started making my own lotion, and that turned into me making my own makeup. I literally ordered beetroot powder, organic, of course, and started infusing it into like a balm, and I would put it on my cheeks, or like a lip, balm, and put it on my lips. And I was like, I made my own lipstick. And that was fun for like 4 days. And then I was like, I can't, this is not sustainable. So that's when I kind of started looking even farther and found out, guess what? There's companies that make clean skincare and makeup. And I was like, oh my gosh, how convenient.
Yeah, I love that. I think for a lot of people, when you kind of become aware of all the things in our products, you go down this rabbit hole where you're like, I'm going to make all my own stuff, and I want to fix everything and figure it all out. But then you start doing more research and finding all these companies that are so amazing that are out there. It's just finding them, right? Did you kind of struggle when you first started? How long ago was that?
That was about 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Did you find that it was hard to find resources and you were really Googling till the end of the internet? Like, how was that process? Did you spend a lot of time researching?
I did at the beginning. It was a lot of time researching, and I honestly feel like Instagram was so helpful because I was able to follow people that were using clean products and people who were talking about what was in their products. And it just took a lot of time for me to educate myself, because at the beginning, I'm like, I'm not using anything that has anything except for coconut oil in it.
Right? The magic ingredient.
Magic ingredient.
And like, if I can't pronounce it, I'm not using it. But with
Right.
education comes understanding, and you realize, okay, well, you see a big name on the label, and that's like the scientific name. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing.
Right.
Right.
I know. I forget shea butter. Like the actual name for shea butter is something that sounds really scary. Like when it's the scientific name. But
Right.
yeah. When you realize what it is, you're like, oh, that's fine for me to use.
Right. And at the beginning, I had felt so duped because I was like, well, my doctors told me to use something that was bad for my son. Like, I don't trust anybody now. So I would see a word like that and be like, forget it, I'm not using it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, as you try new things and as you learn more and looking up ingredients and seeing where things are sourced from, and, that you actually do need a preservative if you're going to have a water-based formula. I mean, there's things that are required to have something that's safe to put on your skin. So I think I still learn every single day. I just ordered a new textbook that came out, and I forget what it's called. It's cosmetic ingredients, I think. Something to that nature, and it was $140. But I'm like, this is going to be my new Bible. I can't wait till it arrives, because like before that, there's nothing on the market that's really. I mean, I have Ruth Winter's Guide to Cosmetic Ingredients, and that's pretty much the only thing. I'm small paperback. I think it's like $14 on Amazon. But this is like a sturdy text, and it's made for professionals.
Oh, I absolutely
Nice.
love that.
So like every day I'm learning more, and then every day more ingredients come out, and every day formulas are changing, and you just have to keep up with what's new. And also, like, the thing that's really tricky too is there's no standard definition for clean beauty. I mean, people
Yeah,
say,
talk
like,
about
oh,
that, because that was mind blowing when I learned this. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners, this is the first time they're really going to understand this. So definitely please explain it to us, because I think you say it in a very simple way that's understandable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, the bottom line is the word non-toxic or clean or natural is not regulated.
It means nothing.
It's not regulated by any governing body
No.
or any person out there. And so for somebody to come up to you and say, well, this is clean, it's like, well, that requires the next question. Oh, tell me more about that. Like, tell me what's in it. Why is it clean? What do you use as a preservative? I mean, and for people starting out, they don't have to be that like, well, what's your preservative? I mean, it has to have to be like that. But it does require a look at the ingredient list, because somebody else is clean doesn't necessarily mean that that's your clean. And I remember the first time learning that, I had walked into Whole Foods, and this was like after I went to an Ava Anderson party, and she had given her, 7 product ingredients to avoid. And I was like, can somebody write that down for me? And then I'm like shopping in Whole Foods for a new face cream. And the face cream that they had recommended, or one of my friends had recommended, who's like a functioning, functional
medicine
practitioner.
Yes.
Yeah. She had recommended a face lotion to me. So I found it at Whole Foods, and I was looking at the ingredients, and it had phenoxyethanol in it, which is an ingredient preservative that with time has been exposed to be to be potentially hazardous to the human body. And so I was like, why would she recommend that? And I was just like, I went up to the Whole Foods girl, and I was like, why are you selling this in the store? And she looked at me like I had 7 heads, but it was just the moment that I was like, oh.
Yeah.
You just
can't
assume
trust
because it's at a
everybody.
Whole Foods store that it's
Yeah.
like perfect and clean, but what does clean
Not so
mean?
much.
Right. Like, I was coming from the place where I'm like, okay, everybody knows what clean is. I just didn't know what it was yet. So I'm learning, and let me go and do this. I want to do the clean thing.
Right.
And then I come to find out it's like, oh, nobody actually really knows what clean is. And you have to decide that for yourself.
Yeah.
So I think for starting out, I would say the one thing, I mean, nobody's going to go out and educate themselves on the thousands of ingredients that are out there. But one really easy tip that I like to give people is just avoid one ingredient. And that one ingredient, you guys can probably guess, fragrance.
Fragrance.
Yes.
Scary.
It's a huge blanket term that they can file anything under.
It's a trade secret. And so no companies, no government, or they just don't have to disclose it to anybody. And it was like back in the day when, perfumers were formulating, and you wouldn't want to say like, oh, this is the ingredients of my perfume, because then the next guy is going to steal your
Copy.
perfume.
Exactly.
Yeah, same thing. But that's just been antiquated over time. And here it is still today. And so formulas can hide, the last time I checked, was up to 3,999 chemical ingredients can be found in fragrance. And that was through the International Fragrance Association. And when they looked at all of the fragrance ingredients that showed up in 2016, so that was almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's so scary.
An insane number.
The other day I was walking down the aisle at Walmart, and it was like I'm not going to say the name, but like the fragrance aisle by the cleaning products, right? So it's like the room deodorizers and like the plugins and stuff. And I'm walking down the aisle and I'm seeing all these people standing there, like picking out their holiday scents of like evergreen and blah, blah, blah. And I just wanted to run up to them and be like, no, buy essential oils, run fast. But
it's so easy.
It's just like uneducated, you know, like you said, just us not knowing as the consumer what fragrance means is scary.
Exactly.
We deserve to know what's in it, and there's a reason we don't.
I know. I've seen so many products too that have the best ingredients, but then their very last thing listed will be fragrance. And I'm just like, I can't do it because I have no idea what you're hiding in there.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes that just takes a step, like emailing. And if you see an ingredient like that, sometimes it just means emailing them, be like, what's your fragrance? And most of the time, if it's a really good company, they'll come back and say it's essential oils.
I love that.
Oh, good.
I love
that. But for the average everyday consumer who's just going in to buy deodorant, and like fragrance is not, I'm not talking about skincare and makeup and personal care. It's in, dryer sheets. It's in trash bags.
Candles,
everything, like Febreze.
All that stuff.
You name it, it's in there.
everywhere.
Car trees. You go and get your car cleaned and they're using a deodorizer in there. So it's just in legit everything. Your lotion, your sunscreen.
Yes.
anything that smells good, basically.
Right.
And I think that's a good point that you just brought up too, because I think a lot of us, as we're like learning, we think of, lotions and things that we're actually physically putting on our body can have a negative impact or a positive impact on our health. But what we forget is actually what we're breathing in is also included in being organic or clean or having this balanced lifestyle. Is we have to not only just look at what we're physically putting in and on our bodies, but in the environment we're surrounding ourselves in, right?
Right. There's two pathways to entry. Is basically topical. So anything that you're putting on your skin, like lotion, body, sunscreen, foundation, and then anything that we're ingesting, obviously. So anything that's going in the body, but then it's environmental too. So it's that, room spray that you're spraying, or it's, the mosquito spray that they did over the neighborhood. So it's like those two things together. Like some of them we can really control, and that's what we need to focus on and take control of. Yeah.
And I love that. All like the information that you've gathered, following you on Instagram, I just learn things every day because like you said, we can't all go out and be our own researchers on everything that's out there. So following your account and then every day getting little nuggets of knowledge and helping me adjust my skincare routine, adjust my lifestyle is amazing. So I'm so thankful that you have you guys need to follow her because it's amazing the things that you learn, and she makes it in such a simple way, whether through it's an Instagram post or also looking at her blog, right? So you started the blog.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I try to post. Well, I show up every day on Instagram because that's where the party's at.
Truth.
I try and show up on my blog 2 to 3 times a week. And that's just a great way because I like to be there too, because when people go on and Google, organic skincare, like I want to be a resource for people because I've tried a lot of things and people send me stuff all the time, which is one of the perks of being a blogger. But it's also my responsibility to share it with people too. So I like to have people have good experience and then they come back.
Yeah.
Right.
So I love to share the things that really work for me because I don't want it to be a struggle. Like I went through 9 mascaras before I found one that I liked. I don't want you to have to go through 9 mascaras before you find one that you like.
Exactly.
Well, especially for someone like me, I hate spending money on makeup. So once I find a product that works, I will keep it for life. Mm-hmm. So that's why I rely on you too, because you've done the testing. Like you know what works, what's going to make your lashes look amazing, and what is a waste of money. And so that's why I appreciate it so much.
You know it.
Safe.
So I have on my Instagram, I have like a tab or a category of saved posts for makeup. And you are dominating that category.
That's so fun.
I looked in today for a reference for something, and it was just all photos of you from your Instagram page because it's all so helpful.
Thanks, girl.
Amazing.
Yeah, I think the makeup was the toughest for me when I was going through my healing journey. It was obvious the food, that was a no-brainer. The self-care, making sure I was using hot saunas and all that. But when it came to, so I tried to do it in segments, right? So the first year I really adjusted my diet. The second year I went through my home and kind of cleaned up the dryer sheets, got rid of those, changed out my detergent, all the things around the home. And then the third year I was like, okay, this is the year for skincare and makeup. And as a female, I've always loved makeup, and I would go buy the Maybelline and the L'Oreals when I was a teenager. And then I, got into Sephora and Ulta and all those. And then to like one day be 30 some and be like, okay, now my skin needs more TLC than ever, but now you can't buy 99% of the products out there. And I felt super lost and didn't even know where to start. So what is your recommendation for someone that comes from a space where they've always used the drugstore, the expensive makeup, and now they're terrified to use what's a clean or organic, and maybe it's not going to work as well? What is your whole take on that?
It's so true what you say, because it just feels like first of all, you're just shocked because you're like, what do you mean none of the stuff is good for me?
Right.
Yeah. But second of all, like, there's no like the clean store.
Right. Thank you. Could there be like an Ulta like upgrade that's like all just perfect ingredients, all approved by you?
Yeah, you don't have to think about it. You just walk in and can buy anything.
Right.
Yeah. And there are green beauty stores all across the US, but for the average person in the average city, there isn't. You know, like it's here, there, it's New York City.
Right.
It's Atlanta that we have 2 in the whole city, but how many CVS's do we have? Like,
right. And makeup's hard to
200.
buy online. Honestly, it's probably one of the most difficult things. I'll buy a laundry detergent from online, but like a makeup, right? You want to like test that shade of foundation, or you want to feel the tackiness of that lip gloss or whatever. So.
Well, for that, Sephora does have some clean beauty products, including makeup, and they do returns.
Really?
So yeah, that's
Good
a
for
great place
them.
that you can start.
Okay.
But when people come and ask about skincare, it's a kind of a twofold question, because first you want to know what they want and like what's their skin like and what are they looking for in skincare. I mean, not everybody's the same. Like a 50-year-old woman coming to me and saying like, I want something that's really going to like plump my skin and kind of like fill in fine lines. It's different from somebody who's 30 and having hormonal acne because they just had their 3rd baby, you know? So it's hard to recommend one brand of skincare. So I really, show up on my DMs every day and I consult through my DMs a lot. But with science and technology kind of accelerating so fast now, we have brands like, one of my favorite brands is True Botanicals, and they have rivaled Proactive in third-party clinical trials.
Yes.
Whoa.
Like, and when I say rivaled, I mean beat out. Like,
That's amazing.
They perform better than Proactive from like blind clinical trials.
Oh my gosh, what was the name of that company again?
True Botanicals.
True Botanicals.
So I have it on my website, and I have a coupon on there too if you want to try it. But
Yeah.
and that's like, and they have a Made Safe certification too, which there are a couple certifications out there now where, you know, we look at the organic seal, but that doesn't always apply to skincare and makeup, because the organic USD organic seal is really just agricultural only.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when we're looking at like clean beauty, uses a lot of micas, titaniums, things that aren't agricultural based. So it's really kind of, I don't want to say impossible to get certified organic makeup, but if you want something that's going to be high performing, it kind of is.
Yeah.
So there's other certifications out there that we can use that can help us like guide us like, oh, this is clean. So there's the EWG verified symbol. Then they have the Made Safe certified certification. And those 2 are kind of like the big ones right now.
Who does the bunny? Like the cruelty-free bunny?
Yeah, Leaping Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cruelty-free, which is totally separate. So I'm all for cruelty-free, but there are a lot of cruelty-free products out there that are not clean.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're looking at from like a holistic, like healthy living perspective, like individually healthy living, the cruelty-free isn't a certification that's going to impact you personally, but it helps, you know, save all the other animals and beings that we love. So that is like, you know, you're right. For a general consumer that's not knowledgeable, they might see the little bunny and be like, oh, this is good.
Right.
It's not necessarily true.
Right. Like, yeah, exactly. But as far as like where to buy clean skincare, there are a ton of clean beauty stores online too. So there's like Folane,
Okay.
Aaliyah, Credo is kind of like under the same umbrella as Sephora, I believe. They're the same company, but they're just kind of a little bit of a cleaner version.
Okay.
They still have products in there that I wouldn't use, but it's a good start.
Okay. Yeah,
You know?
exactly. You have to start somewhere.
There's a lot of online retailers, and then plus each brand that are clean, they of course have their own store too that you can order from directly.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that.
And of course on my website, I have like Google organic skincare. It'll come up. I even have a tab that's called What I'm Using Now.
Okay,
And
perfect.
it has a list of everything
That's
that I'm like
exactly what I
loving and
need.
using right now.
Just like have a base to start with. I think that's, you know, something I've learned with my clients too, is if I could just give them a basic, you know, 101, just start here kind of thing, that can just be so refreshing for someone. So for our listeners, we'll definitely post a link for that.
Yeah, I want to add too. So if somebody's going from like listening to this right now and thinking, oh my God, there's parabens in my skincare, like, or oh my God, there's fragrance in my skincare. What do I do?
Yeah.
I would say start with the basic 5 things that you put on your body and stays on your body all day. So lotion, body lotion, look for a good swap for that. And I have something that you guys will be able to post under this podcast that just has like some basics, like of what I recommend.
Perfect.
No
Yeah,
big deal.
good.
But like 5 basic things that stay on your body all day, like lotion, you know, if you wear foundation, swap that, deodorant, face cream, and like sunscreen.
Yeah.
Or lip balm. You
So
know,
those 5 are you believe are like the most important things that we need to start with switching.
right, because if you think about it, whatever we put on our body gets absorbed into our body. And there's different statistics out there. Like some people say it's 60% in 26 seconds, but other people say it's not. But the bottom line is it's getting absorbed. You think about birth control patches, or you think about topical hormones, or you think about nicotine patch, like whatever you put on your skin is getting absorbed through our skin and into our body.
Exactly.
So choosing clean is super important. When you put on a lotion and then you go out the door, that's going into your skin all day long. You know, if you shampoo your hair and it rinses out, I mean, that's a different scenario because now it's going into our environment and body
Down the drains, into the ocean.
it's not staying on your head all day long like a lotion would. So
Right.
I always say focus on those 5 things first. Don't go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go crazy if you want to. I'm like super extra like
You will. I
like,
think people
change
start
everything.
really slow, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, I can do it. I'm changing it all.
Yes.
But just start slow. I like that.
I have been stuck in the make everything myself mode for so long. And just for the clean reason, like I will only make my own face scrub, and my makeup is super simple. I wear like a powder from Whole Foods, but it's a good one from Whole Foods, and a mascara. And so now I feel like I've been so bland because I haven't had the time to look into it like you have. And I'm just ready for makeup life to come back. So I'm like, Lisa, give me all the tips. I want all of your makeup products. And yeah, because there's no reason that you have to be, you know, blank face if you don't want to be.
Right.
Like there's
Right.
a clean way to do it. So
There's a lot of beautiful products out there, especially if you have a lot of money to spend. I mean, and I get to try, honestly, the best of the best skincare stuff from Austria and Spain, and like the best.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Makeup too, but I also have an organic beauty budget buy-in guide.
Oh,
nice.
perfect.
But it has detailed out over 50 brands for skincare and makeup that you can buy. Everything is under 30, with most of it being under 20. So
That's amazing
Yeah.
because even when you go to like the drugstore now, I just went the other day and I was like walking around looking for things, and most of the stuff there is still really expensive. Like mascaras, they're charging like $13. And I know there are some clean brands out there that are totally comparable in price.
yeah, like I have on the Honest Beauty, you know, Jessica Alba's brand, and I got it on Amazon for $10.50.
Wow.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally affordable. I think that's something too, like to let all of our listeners know, you know, from all of us kind of doing the clean beauty thing is I didn't have to go spend more money. It actually, some of it was cheaper than the Sephora brands, but it's not as insanely expensive as we can think, you know?
You can
Yeah.
go both ways.
Yeah, exactly. Just like with anything, right?
And so your blog has now been live almost for 3 years, right? Since,
Almost for 3 years. My blog anniversary is January 16th.
Yay!
Yeah,
That's
it'll be
right
year
around
3.
the corner.
Yeah.
Coming up.
So are you to the point now where all these organic skincare companies are coming to you and saying, help me get the word out?
I do a lot of collaboration with skincare companies. I mean, it's kind of like a win-win-win for everybody. So when I get to try a lot of things, I get to really pick out my favorites. And
Yeah.
it's kind of like what you were saying, like you don't have to buy the 9 mascaras to pick the one that you like. Like that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're the filter.
Yes, exactly. But I love it. It's such a blessing. And I'm like, I can't wait to see my skin when I'm 75.
Yeah.
I know.
'Cause I'm like, am I going to have the most amazing skin?
I have to say, so I don't know your age, but your skin is glowing.
Yeah.
40.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay, I'm 31 and I feel like my skin says that I'm 30 years older than you.
Stop it.
No,
Like your skin is
her skin is
flawless.
on point.
Yeah.
It really is.
Okay,
Sounded
so
like
if
you were
you
disagreeing with her.
Just be like, it is.
you're like, no, stop.
No, but keep going.
So if you have one tip for skincare, like to give our listeners, what would be your number one go-to?
Okay. So I'm going to say facial massage, which is very
Ooh.
inexpensive. And it truly just does it all. Like if you're sitting there watching Netflix at night, just get a nice oil. If you don't have a nice oil, you can use olive oil. I mean, doesn't really matter. But I, of course, have a beautiful oil to use. And just, you can Google, I like Lisa Eldridge's video on how to do facial massage. But it drains the lymph. It brings, blood up to the surface, improves circulation. It helps turn over skin cells that are dead, need to be moved. It gives you that glow. It fills in fine lines and wrinkles. Like I do it at night, and I swear in the morning my skin looks improvably better. Like I can see the difference. So that's like a very cheap way to kind of like keep your skin.
Yeah, help it out.
And do you use a jade roller?
I have a jade roller. Mm-hmm.
It's like my new thing. I'm loving it.
Yeah, I have two actually. I use them at the same time.
Oh, nice. Diva life.
Cool. But like you don't have to run out and buy a jade roller. Like you can do it with your hands too.
Yeah.
Although I love having one. But as far as product wise goes, I would say invest in a nice skin serum or a skin oil. And people, I think sometimes hear skin oil and they're like, oh God, no, like my skin's oily. I can't use an oil. And it's like, well, a lot of the times people's skin is extra oily because they're washing it with drying agents, and your skin is like, oh my gosh, all my oil just got taken off my face. I got to make more. And so your sebaceous glands go into overdrive, and now it starts pumping out oil, and now you have oily combo skin. In contrast, if you apply oil, like I wash my face with oil, I massage my face with oil, I moisturize my face with oil. Like I just always use oils all the time, and my skin has never been more even. Like I used to have combo skin, and now it's just even because my sebaceous glands are just like, all right, cool. Like I don't have to try and keep up with you.
They're like, you got me. Thank you.
Yeah. Giving it what it needs.
I would say try a facial oil and just buy a really nice one and give it 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. Because oil doesn't necessarily mean it's going to clog your pores, right?
No.
I think that's kind of, that's
like a myth, right?
Some oils can, like coconut oil can be pore clogging.
Yeah.
But oils that are formulated to function as a face oil won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is this a myth too? I haven't done any research on this, but I've heard from a couple of sources that you're not supposed to exfoliate your face because you're like taking off the good bacteria. But I know you obviously have to wash your face. So is that a total myth that you should never exfoliate, or do you exfoliate?
Okay, from what I know.
I was going to say, I can't stand behind
I know.
that.
I would have to do days
I'm like
of
an
research.
exfoliating queen.
I am too. But I was like, should I not be doing this?
I don't know if it touches your bacteria, although I'm not a scientist or anything like that. But from what I've learned about skincare is that you should exfoliate 1 to 2 times a week.
Yeah.
Not too much, because too much can aggravate your skin.
Right.
But like you do want to take off the dead skin cells and let the new ones come to the forefront and just keep it turning over,
So my question for you, because you've done all the research, so we can do, I know enzymatic exfoliation's really nice because you can use, fruit enzymes that are really safe and very gentle, but going to get a professional facial, do you prefer like doing the lasers? Do you do those? Or I know they do like the salicylic and the glycolics, or do you try to stick to just doing it at home so you know what they're using?
Yeah, I feel like I've been ruined. Like I cannot get facials anymore. And if I do get facials, like I got one at the St. Regis last year. I brought all my own stuff.
You did? Nice. And there's no shame in that game.
No, and they were like, oh, like she was like, I don't think I'm supposed to use this. I was like, it's fine.
You're like, just put some gloves
3
on
masks.
if you want.
You can just pick which one you want to use. It's okay.
Oh, good for you. Making change.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know, like getting my nails done, which we do have like a less toxic nail salon in Atlanta, but I kind of just end up doing them myself, and same with my facials and stuff like that. My products are better than what I would pay $300 to go and get.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's exactly it. Because you pay a lot of money. I think a lot of people assume that if they can't afford to go get facials every week or go do those services, that they're never going to have beautiful skin. But that's just not the case.
You can
that's
do
a
it.
myth.
Yes. Well, beautiful skin, as you girls know, really comes from
what you put in.
wheatgrass.
Yes,
Yeah.
wheatgrass.
Wheatgrass is amazing for your skin.
Yeah. Greens, like drink more greens and
Greens
water.
and water, yeah. But if your diet is awful, then your skin will show it probably before anything else will show it. You're totally right. Which that's not why my face looks bad, because I'm pretty healthy. So I have to figure this out.
More wheatgrass.
We'll get to the bottom of this.
I think your face looks great.
Oh, thanks.
I think we're all our own worst critic, right?
True. Maybe it's all in my head.
It is. So then I have a question about the blog. Like you were mentioning, you get to partner with all these amazing skincare companies and they reach out to you. Do you ever get any that come to you that you're looking at their ingredients and you're like, no way, Jose, I am not promoting yours? Does that happen
like
often?
Every day.
Really? They don't do their research on you?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes like it's a third party. So a lot of PR companies are in charge of trying to get the name out for a certain company because they've been hired to do that.
Right.
And so like, oh, hey, do you want to try this such and such? And I honestly get a lot of emails. So most of the time I just either won't answer or I'll have like a canned answer. I just cut and paste like, oh, sorry, I'm not available right now. It's like, and it's not hurting their feelings because it's just a middleman. You know?
Yeah, of course.
Just business.
And if it is the founder or if it is somebody who's, I want to be nice,
Of
because
course.
I'm like, I'm not trying to be mean,
Worrying
like,
about their feelings.
right.
No, but it just shows that you have a certain, integrity for your lifestyle and it just doesn't match. But
Yeah, I'll just ask a few questions like, oh, what's your preservative? And then they'll tell me and they'll be like, okay, well, maybe try and check back next year or something like that.
no, I think
sorry,
I
bye.
think that's so important. That kind of brings up, kind of the conversation we had when we first met is we have to have someone that's going to advocate, right? That's going to say to these companies, you know what? No, thank you. What you're offering for a product doesn't do me justice or doesn't do my family justice or my followers justice. So I'm going to pass. And every time you stand up and say, no, thank you, it's going to make them hopefully reevaluate their ingredients and reevaluate what product they're bringing out to the public. And that's a huge thing that I advocate for, right? Is buying organic, because the more organic we buy, the more companies are going to be like, oh, wow, organics are flying off the shelves. We need to provide an organic product. We need to step into that space of, natural, clean, whatever it might be. And so that will hopefully get the ball rolling that in the future, we're going to have more options, right?
Yeah, two things about that. I've literally had a company reformulate because of the questions that I've asked them.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and then the other thing is too, like I always say, we're voting with our dollars. Like whether you get out there on November
6th, I think.
Whatever
or
it is.
not, you're actually voting every single day with when you're walking down the aisle at the grocery store and you're putting Tide in your basket. Like, guess what? You voted for a toxic world. Like, you want to put, like the same toothpaste your mother bought and her grandmother bought. It's like people just do it out of not of rote habit and they're not making conscious decisions. But it's like when we start making conscious decisions and voting and buying for the things that we want to see in this world, people make more of those things. So if I'm making a hole on the wall of the shelf or I'm picking out a specific product, I'm creating a demand for that product and they need to refill that hole.
Yeah, right. I think that's huge. And to have people like you're like an influencer where companies are looking for your opinion because your opinion is going to impact, purchases. And so I think that's just a beautiful thing that we have the power to do nowadays is kind of stand up for everyone else, right? Mm-hmm. So I love that. Good for you.
So I have more of a life question. So you have 2 boys, right?
2 boys.
Okay. And you vlog and you're very active on your Instagram and your blog and you're amazing with your customer interaction too, which I feel like is very rare and such a good trait. Do you ever find that it's hard to balance that and also live in the moment?
Absolutely. And I think every blogger or Instagrammer would say the same thing. I try to set a schedule. But then sometimes, especially this time of the year with like holidays and stuff, it just gets even more demanding. And things
Schedule
get
out the window.
Yeah. And it's just kind of like try and work in the margins and trying to make it all come together. Like I'm a hustler by nature. So like I love working. Like I love doing it. So it's like I love being my family, but I also love working. So it's kind of like, it's good, but balancing, I don't think that I actually balance anything.
You just kind of hit them when they come to you.
Yeah, just go.
I have 3 long days during the week. So I have somebody who watches my boys after school, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so I kind of have like a long day those 3 days. So I try to jam all my work into those 3 days. And then the other 2 days I spend the afternoons with my boys. And then the weekends I try not to work too much.
Yeah.
If I just send out my newsletter, I always maybe take an hour on Sunday morning or something. But I try and really like reserve that time to be with my family.
Yeah. That's amazing that you love what you do so much. I feel like it's so rare, in today's society.
I'm like, when I started this 3 years ago, I was like, if my lifestyle can support my lifestyle, like, oh, you want to see me go to the gym and you want to pay me to go to the gym and then we all get what we want. Like, it's just really cool that way.
Exactly. Yeah. You're helping them. They're helping you.
Exactly. Everybody wins.
Trade.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not love that?
Right.
Well, I've talked to, some people where they're like, I wish I could just be a travel blogger and get paid to do that. Or I wish I could be a beauty blogger and just get free makeup sent to me. So I mean, I feel like my answer to them is you could, right? Did you ever see this happening for you?
No, I mean, I started out mostly, my mission was I saw myself being taken advantage of, and I saw my family being taken advantage of by big business at the expense of my children's health. And that really lit a fire in my belly. And I was like, I'm going to do something to change this.
Yeah.
So my passion started out with wellness in general. Make sure you filter your water. Did you know that pastured chicken is better than non-pastured chicken? And why? Did you know that you should probably take a probiotic every day? Did you know that most of us are deficient in magnesium? Like, just things that like nobody teaches you and that you have to seek out on your own accord. But as I got rolling, getting into it, I kind of found this niche of skincare and makeup, and I just really enjoy it. I think it's a way to still talk about the core concepts that I want to talk about through the ingredients that I see on the ingredient label, but it applies to so many things in life.
Yeah. I love that.
And you're teaching about turn over the label, and we're teaching about what does it mean when you see this, and we're teaching about, guess what, there's no set definition for these things. Like, you need to make your own decision, just like I make my own decision. If you want to have the same decision as me, that's fine, come on board. If you don't, that's cool too.
Yeah.
I'm just here to provide, but you decide.
Yeah. Provide and
provide so you can decide.
And it's a gateway. Like you said, you're teaching them to turn over the label, and that's going to make them start questioning their food and their water quality and their medicines and everything else that they consume.
Yeah.
So you package it in like the most fun and relatable way, but then it transfers to every other area of their life. So you're working magic, girl.
The thing is, like, the people that I have like in this community that has been created, like, make me better too. And I said something to my friend the other day, and she's like, yeah, iron sharpens iron. And I'm just like, it's so true.
Yeah.
Like, my dad was just in the hospital, like I was telling you, for over 100 days. He got out on Tuesday last week, and he was on tube feed for maybe 2 weeks. And several of my readers, once I had mentioned that on my stories, were like, you should check out functional formularies, and they have 100% organic tube feed.
They do?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I would have never known that, but like, I have the conversation, and it's like we make each other better.
Yeah.
It's really just like such a great space. And I don't always have all the answers, and then sometimes that sparks a new conversation, and it's just, I love
Forwarding
it. Like, every day I
information.
grow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So you were talking about turning over the ingredients, or like getting a bottle and turning over and looking at the ingredients. Can you just off the top of your head think of like a couple that are listeners, like when they go to the store the next time to buy their deodorant or whatever it might be, what are like the few words that if you see them, you're like, no way, Jose, putting it back on the shelf?
Yes. Okay. So fragrance, number one. And
Fragrance,
if that's all that you guys remember from today, like, call it a win.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
huge.
you don't even have to like, oh my God, let me get on my pen and paper. No, like, fragrance will get you 90% of the way there.
And it's going to say fragrance, like, or dyes, or just
fragrance, perfume.
fragrance, perfume.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then also a couple other things that I look for. So deodorant, you had mentioned, if it has aluminum in it, I put it back.
Yes, that's a big one.
Yeah. And then some other things that I look for on the label, like pegs, if you see the word PEG,
Okay.
sometimes it says like peg 20, peg 80. I put it back, and that's because it's an ethoxylated ingredient, and what can happen with ethoxylation is just a chemical process. And there's a byproduct of 1,4-dioxane, which is a known carcinogen. They don't put it on the label because it's a byproduct.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. There are so many loopholes that they can get away with. It's just so corrupt.
I know. And a lot of the ingredients that have been ethoxylated have the word like the ETH in it. So like phenoxyethanol, which I was talking about, has an ETH, and that's been ethoxylated as well. So like, but if you look for pigs, fragrance, phenoxyethanol is in a lot of the greener products that tote themselves as green,
Okay.
but that sometimes aren't. Like, maybe they have a few things that normally like they're kind of like borderline. And the thing is, if a lot of it really depends on percentages too. So if it's formulated, say, with a 1% phenoxyethanol, it's not going to kill you, right? It's not the thing that you do once in a while, or
Right.
that's going to kill you. It's a thing that you do every single day in high doses that's going to kill you. So I mean, I think the takeaway really is like, don't let this run your life or consume you or
Yeah.
scare you. But it's just like a constant growth and education process, and just maybe question like, oh, phenoxyethanol. I think I heard her say that, like, maybe I should reach for the one right next to it that doesn't have any
Right.
and go with that.
And at first, like, my husband would not go shopping with me because I would be at the store for like an hour. You know, like I would look, for like a skincare product. It will take me some time because I am going to look at every single one there and just kind of do some comparison. So, I know it's hard to find that free time and like commit to going to the grocery store for your next deodorant run where you just want to run in and go. But, check out your blog or even do some research before you go. And then you at least kind of have a heads up. I mean, luckily on Amazon, you can look at the ingredients of anything nowadays, right? They have the picture on the label and just look at it, when you're free time instead of scrolling through randomness, just kind of learn as you go along.
Yeah, like you can just go to my blog, type in deodorant, and stuff will come up for options.
Like your favorites. Mm-hmm. Do you ever use the Think Dirty app?
Yeah, Think Dirty app's great. I think there's some great resources out there if you're trying to look up ingredients. Like EWG has a skin database where you can type in ingredients or you can type in products and it'll come up with a rating 0 through 10. 0
That's how I
safest,
started with Skin Deep on EWG. It's ewg.org. Right?
Yeah, they're an awesome organization. And you're pretty involved with them, right?
I don't work with them at all.
Okay.
I think maybe I went to a pop-up that they had in Atlanta the other day. Maybe you saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Think Dirty is another app that you can use. I mean, it's not the end all be all. It's not like, well, Think Dirty said it was a 5, so that's what it is. It's just like, all right, cool. Like, why is it a 5? Oh, maybe because it has linalool, which is an isolate. But if it's just included on the ingredient list as a component of the essential oil and not actually isolated, which is 2 different things, then it's cool. So it's like, you take it with a grain of salt. But if you're just like quick, I want to go in and out, like in this one's a 5 and that one's a 2, like just grab the 2. Like, not a big deal.
Like a quick reference.
Yeah.
And then do better next time.
Yeah. But then you can look for the EWG verified symbol. It's like a green little circle with an E in the middle.
Okay.
And then Made Safe isn't as prolific, but it is available. And they are doing everything from like sheets to mattresses to, skincare, makeup too. Yeah. And that just says Made Safe certified on it.
I love that.
Nice.
I love that you talk about everything like makeup and skincare, but like you said, even mattresses, right? Yeah. Like that was something that was woo to me. I'm like, wait, you mean the thing I'm sleeping on and breathing in all night
for 50% of your
kill
life?
Me?
Right?
I'm gonna sleep on the floor outside under a tree.
Yeah.
Sleep in the dirt. It's also, it'll help you ground and help your mental state get back to what it should be. Goodness, I know it's everywhere, but baby steps to a cleaner life.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Okay, so we are, with your permission, going to play a little game. We're going to do rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So, are you ready?
Hopefully.
It's good. They're good.
I tried to keep it pretty PC for this time. Next episode, maybe not so much. Okay, so favorite lipstick brand?
Okay. Axiology.
Favorite lipstick color?
Okay. Road Trip by Clove and Hollow.
That sounds fun.
It's great.
Wheatgrass or champagne?
Okay, I just had this idea before. Remember, I was like champagne with like a wheatgrass infusion. So it's like a light green champagne.
Okay, wheatgrass mimosa.
Yes.
I love it.
The least healthy thing that you eat?
Popcorn, like with a ton of butter and salt and everything. And
organic popcorn.
Oh yeah, I make it myself. Okay.
Oh my gosh. If that's the least healthy thing you eat, you're doing well.
Oh, well, bacon too.
Oh, nice. Okay, the weirdest thing in your purse right now?
Okay, well, I didn't bring my purse with me. Let me think.
On the regular.
Getting out of jail.
On the regular. I don't know, my period cup maybe?
Oh, yeah.
So weird.
Wait, does that ever get taken out at the airport?
No.
I don't know why it would, but I can just
you
see a
imagine
man
them
being like,
pulling-
what is this?
Diva cup.
I feel like you might not want to touch that.
He's like, why? And you're like, well.
I love it.
The last thing you would ever feed your kids?
Oh, McDonald's.
Oh, agree.
Good call. And if you were stranded on an island, what's one makeup product you would have to have?
Coconut oil.
Yeah.
Yes!
Well, I guess that's skincare. Mascara, if we're talking about makeup.
Okay. I can see both.
Yeah, I gotta have good mascara.
Right? Eyes are everything.
Yay. Well, I love this. Thank you for teaching us so many good things.
Yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
having me. This was awesome.
This was awesome. We're so happy. So this week's WAC upgrade, I think we're going to direct to you. What do you want
totally.
them to do?
So if you head over to my website, which is thisorganicgirl.com, there'll be a pop-up and it'll say, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you get a list of toxic 10 ingredients, which is basically the most common toxic ingredients that I've noticed on labels. So it's just another way to help you if you're like, okay, well, fragrance isn't enough for me. I need more. Like, I want like a checklist. This is kind of more of a checklist that you can kind of print out and keep in your purse and just kind of reference as you go. And it says what it is and why to avoid it.
I love that. I think that's something we didn't get a chance to really talk about, but like why all these ingredients are toxic.
Yeah.
So definitely check out the newsletter and then hashtag us WAC Upgrade and post some photos of you guys in the grocery aisle looking at your ingredients. We love creativity. So tag us and we will feature you.
Yes, and you'll probably find your new favorite product. So please send them to us because we're always looking for the best of everything.
Yes. And then also check out her blog. Like you said, you post a couple times a week, always new information, right? Can you tell us a little bit about how to find you?
Sure. My blog is, like I said, thisorganicgirl.com. I usually do 1 to 2 blog posts a week, and then I do a Friday roundup, which is kind of fun too. My readers really like it because it's just kind of a hodgepodge of what I've been up to for the week, or kind of cool new wellness tips, or last week I did a Mary F. Kill with Grey's Anatomy because I'm like obsessed with that show, but whatever. I'm 40, I can be.
Yes.
And so that, and then on Instagram, at This Organic Girl, on Facebook / This Organic Girl. And I'm on YouTube too, although I don't post that often, but I kind of just sometimes bring my stories over to YouTube. But once in a while, I may do like one video a year or something. I've been talking about my gray hair transition over there a little bit too. So
absolutely love it.
That's something that I super love is that you're embracing your hair turning gray, and it is fabulous and it looks amazing. And you're also reducing all that dye that you would normally, toxify yourself with.
I know. It's been such a cool experience because I was totally that girl 2 years. Okay, so I'm about 18 months in. 2 years ago, I was that girl. I was like, I will never stop dyeing my hair. Yeah, I'm all organic and wellness and all that stuff, but
that's the one.
Be like, gray hair? Nope.
Heck no. But then I've been using Hairprint for a while, which I really liked, which is, people ask me like, what's a good non-toxic hair dye? That's pretty much the only one that I recommend. It's made with 8 food grade ingredients. Oh, nice. And it actually works. Like, I used it for 14 months exclusively. I loved it. But I think I just got to a place where I was like, I hate it's DIY, and I just don't. It's 3 hours. I'm in my bathroom. I'm like, oh God,
messy.
I just want to watch Grey's Anatomy.
Where's my couch?
Yeah, like I'm just not a DIYer. Like the only thing you'll catch me DIYing is elderberry, but other than that, like we kind of eat out a lot. I'm not sewing my kids' clothes. I mean, we're like out at the park. We're riding bikes. We're doing stuff.
Exactly.
So anyways, I decided after that I was just kind of like a little bit fed up with it, and I came home one day after getting my hair dyed, and I was just like, I don't know. I said to my husband, I think I might stop dyeing my hair. Oh no, you know what happened? I posted on Instagram first this beautiful picture of a woman with all gray hair, like silver, just beautiful. Yeah. Kind of a little wave to it. And I was like, guys, I think I might stop dyeing my hair. What do you think? And I got probably 90% yes, and then 10% people being like, oh girl, don't do it. I was like, that's cool. I mean, like, I'm right there with you. Like,
yeah, I'm still in the 10%.
I'm like, don't do it. But then I mentioned to my husband, and when I saw my husband's reaction, I was like, oh my God, I'm totally doing this. Because he goes, do it.
Oh, what a good
He's
man.
like, absolutely. And I was like,
it.
oh my God, seriously? He goes, yeah. So then I thought about it for another 30 days, and then it was coming up on my hair appointment. So then I just went to my hair appointment, came home. He goes, wait a second, I thought we had decided on this. What happened? I thought you were going to grow your hair out. And I'm like, all right, I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
So then I just kind of never looked back. And I thought it was going to kind of be really hard and just weird. And I've gotten so much positive feedback from people online and from people in person. I order a sandwich at the sandwich shop, and the guy behind the register is like, that's $5.85. And I'm like, here you go. He's like, is that your natural hair color? I'm like, it is. He's like, it looks great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, I'll be walking around window shopping, and just some lady will be like, girl, you look so good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you.
You do.
It's just there's so much support, and I feel like you won't know that until you do it.
Yeah. Because you're living authentically. You're just like, this is what I'm doing. And
Like there's a huge gray hair party out there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I had like the invite the whole time, but I just I never knew what was going on
You're like,
until
no,
I
I'm too busy.
RSVP'd.
Yeah.
I
No,
finally
love it.
RSVP'd, and now I'm like, hey,
Is it more fun in the party or outside?
like it's now like just like the people who just comment on my hair, or like I post a picture on social and it's by far my best posts that go down. And I wouldn't believe it if I didn't see it with my own two eyes.
Yeah.
Because I was so staunch, like, gray hair is ugly. Gray hair looks like you're not taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
I don't want to look old. I don't want to look like my mother. I mean, there's just all these stigmas that's been built up by like society,
Yep.
you know, that you don't
Yeah.
even realize that you have going on.
Yep.
And then once I went through it, and I'm still going through it tonight. Now I have about 2 inches left. Like my next haircut is going to be like the rest
Official.
Yes.
the rest of my chemical hair will be
committed.
cut off. And
That's kind of like so therapeutic in of itself, right? Like you're cutting up that last little bit of toxic
Yes.
load in the hair and being like, bye.
Yep.
yeah, like I'll never turn back.
I can't wait for that post. Like you must have a really celebratory
Like, I
post for
made
that
it.
day.
Yeah, for anybody who wants to follow along, I do post like once every 3 months, just kind of like what's going on now, how I'm feeling. And it's been different every single 3 months, you know,
love
being
it.
like, okay, I'm doing it. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I can't believe I ever, you know, like all the different stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really cool. At the beginning too, my kids were just like, Mama, why is your hair white on top? Oh,
There's something in your hair.
yeah, it's weird. But now they don't say anything.
Aw, they're like, my mom's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Yay.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so I do a weekly newsletter. So if anybody wants to keep up with the conversation, you can sign up for it on my website. And that's it. Yeah, blog, Instagram, newsletter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you offer with a lot of the companies you partner with discounts, coupon codes, things like that, right? And you post those as you go along.
I do. Like you can always do my search. Feel like I wonder if True Botanicals has a coupon code. You can go to my search bar and say True Botanicals coupon code, and then it'll populate for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice.
And you're
Yeah.
pretty
Handy.
interactive with your messages and
Oh
stuff
yeah, you
too,
can always
so
DM me.
Just
Yeah.
reach out and be like,
Exactly.
hey girl, I need a coupon code for mascara. What you got?
Yep.
Nice.
My kind of girl.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much.
This was amazing. I love this episode. I think it's my favorite.
Babe.
Hard to top ever.
So we'll cheers our champagne now, ladies. So whether you're cleansing or celebrating, cheers.
Thank you for listening to the Wheatgrass and Champagne podcast. If you loved today's episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Join the Wheatgrass and Champagne community on Instagram, Facebook, and wheatgrassandchampagne.com. Details from this episode can be found in the show notes below. Tune in next Wednesday as we continue to seek the perfect balance between indulging and upgrading. Until then, cheers.